understand, but I fell down this hill. Now I got glue on my hands and I got records on my fingers. Records on my fingers, I got records on my fingers, and I just can't stop. Can't stop, I got a platypus controlling me.
Do it again. Coming to you live from my apartment. Welcome to the new show, 2DK podcast, where me and some guests will, I guess, rank the players and talk about them for a bit. I'm not so sure if we're going to be doing this for the future. Hell, I don't even know if we're going to be doing it past this first episode, but it's worth a shot, right?
Yeah.
It's worth a shot.
So I guess that means that we're the 2DK know-it-alls.
Hell yeah, 2DK know-it-alls. Today we're going to be talking about 2DK Season 24. Now, for a bit of context, 24, I started this cast in mind with the casting nice people, I guess. Because after 23, I think we all need some nice people in our lives. But we're not here to dunk on 23, we're here to talk about 24.
Yeah. And maybe dunk on 23 a little bit.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. So
that's going to be when we come back.
So we're very excited about this cast. Now, TCP, you got the cast reveal thingy, the Comic Sans thingy, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't actually have that, so you may need to reference that a little bit. So I guess the fair way of doing it is alphabetical order, right? We're going to talk about each of these players in alphabetical order.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll start out with our good friend, Abby the Bee. Look at
that. The second youngest player, so she got to choose one of the tribes.
That's a secret. Actually, you know what? No, none of the players will be hearing this unless they're breaking the rules. That's fine. Yeah, so Abby actually got to choose.
It would be bad if any of the players were actually hearing this while they were
playing. Watch, like Neff right now is just listening. Interesting.
Yeah, she's just taking notes. She somehow joined into the podcast lobby and was listening over everything. But anyways, Abby, she got to choose one of the tribes, and her one person that she wanted was Dennis. So she first picks Dennis. Orca, who's the other person we'll talk about later, also got to choose one of the rank people to pick them for the tribe. She also first picked Dennis, so Dennis is not going on Abby's tribe.
Yeah, which is,
and
I honestly think that might be good for her game because the two of them, they're not being discreet about it. You know, they got matching profile pics, they got matching Discord statuses. TCP, you know that they're boyfriend and girlfriend, right? Abby and Dennis.
Yeah.
As of
I didn't know that, but I kind of figured it out. So something that's might be a problem for Abby going on.
As of
just to talk a little bit about some other people.
As of April the 21st,
is going to be on Abby's tribe.
Ecto, yeah.
And Ecto specifically mentioned that Abby and Dennis are a duo. So if he's on tribe with one of them, he's going to be more inclined to take one of them out.
But I think that would be good for her game that they're separated, because if they're together, that's just a really obvious, early boot. Whereas if they're separated, you can wait till merge, and then everyone will be like, oh, we got to split them up. Come on. What are we doing? Right, so maybe it's a blessing in disguise that they're split up. I don't really know what to expect from Abby. I know that she actually has played a couple of other orgs prior to Org C. I know she played some Big Brother
around
orgs.
12.
Yeah, she's played a lot of Big Brother orgs. She actually knows Aleki. Aleki and her, I guess, used to play some orgs together. So maybe she's more experienced than we give her credit for, if she's been doing this for years now.
Yeah. The thing with experience is being very experienced is you can be very hyped to come into it if you have if this is your first, second, or third org. But if it's this is her 12th org, she might be coming in with a little bit less energy, a little bit less oomph to do well in this game. So I'm a bit skeptical about Abby myself. I think that she might be a pre-jury player, but
I think. Now here's what I think, and I have a little bit of bias because I actually did play a season with Abby. She was pretty inactive, but people wanted to keep her because they were easy merge boot, right?
Yeah.
So I think that I can see her making the merge, but I can't see her going much farther than that. I think, at Final 11, Final 10, around that time, they're like, oh, let's just get rid of her. She's a non-entity, stuff like that.
So So you're thinking she's gonna be just to be like a jury player, maybe
I think
not really
so.
have an influence on the game overall, but like
Yeah.
make it the jury.
I think
Uh,
so. I think Abby also has elements of being that person who always makes pre-merge, the inactive pre-merge boot that everyone dislikes. But I don't think that's gonna happen. She seems to be subverting those cliches, right? She's fairly more talkative than those people.
yeah.
I don't know about you.
Next,
I think pre.
next up,
Oh wait, are we gonna put her on the tier list?
yeah, I put her in jury.
You put in jury? I'll put her in jury as well. I've hopes for her. Hopefully she doesn't disappoint, but we'll see. Next up we have Cass, and I might be wrong here, but according to the list, she's the oldest one, like 24,
Yeah,
right?
she's 24 and she's a mom, so she has a kid.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Interestingly,
since January, she's played in like 10 orgs since January of this year,
yeah.
and she's going to be in 3 orgs by the time we start. And I'll be honest, I am very worried about Cass this season.
I'm worried about her as well. I feel like if this org was, and I'm not saying this org is young because we have a couple of 14 and 13-year-olds, but let's just say that certain members, the Nefs and the Saps and the Ryans of the world, they act a little younger than they should. So that's a little concerning. Even though they're about 18, they act a little younger, And maybe that may isolate
And
her.
I think some of our younger players might be acting a little bit older, but like, how is she going to be relating to people on her tribe that are still like in school and she's a mom? It's like completely different like times in their lives.
Exactly.
And also, specifically, there is a person on her tribe, Guy. And Guy has specifically said that if Cass is on his tribe, he's going to gun for her. And that makes me like worried that Cass could be a first boot on this tribe.
Now here's the thing: which tribe was a gun on? Is he on Orca's tribe or Abby's tribe?
Orca's tribe.
Okay, because we discussed some of the mods discussed that the Orca tribe is a bit stronger than the Abby tribe, and honestly, we're expecting the Orca tribe to just win out, so it might not even be an issue. But I don't know. The Orca tribe has a lot of strong players.
Cass is on the Abby tribe.
Oh, I thought you said the Orca tribe. Oh.
Yeah,
they're different tribes.
Guy and Cass are together on the Abby tribe. So.
Guy.
That's even worse for Cass.
Oh man, wait, who said they wanted a gun for Cass? Guy or Gun? Sorry, their names are so similar.
Guy did.
Oh, Guy. Okay, yeah, that's not good. That's actually worse. Oh man.
Yeah.
I'm worried for Cass as well. I think she's a very unique type of player that we haven't had much of, and a type that I want to see more of. Some like older players, about 23, 24, right? But here's the thing: do you think that being a young mother will help her relate to some of the the younger people, right? Do you think that aspect will help her?
I think no matter like what life situation you are, if you like put in the time to be like social, you're gonna integrate into the tribe no matter like who you are in these kinds of orgs. So like if she puts in the effort, she could definitely like blow away expectations. I just don't know if she will be putting in more effort than a lot of these people, because there's a lot of like people I'm expecting to be like very active on both tribes.
Yeah.
And, like.
Yeah.
It's a bit worrying.
I don't know. I want her to go far, but I can see her being pre-jury. I think it's pretty likely that she's pre-jury. I think she'll survive.
I think that she might be pre-swap.
Pre-swap. Oh, really? Yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, yeah, you're right. You're right. I can see Abby's tribe losing 3 times in a row, and by the way, I should probably point out that the swap is 3 rounds, post-swap is 3 rounds, and then merge at 11. So that's how it is. I can see.
Okay.
I can see Abby's tribe losing 3 times in a row. That's not great, but you're right. Yeah, pre-swap for Cass. Not that she's a bad player. I just think she's in a really bad spot.
Yeah.
I think Cass, if she can survive that swap, she's golden. I feel.
Yeah, if she can survive the swap, like she's going to be needed for numbers.
Yeah. I've never seen
no,
her
no matter like who needs her for numbers.
exactly. I've never seen her play, but I do know that Connor thinks she's a great player, so that's a plus.
Okay.
Next up is Dani, and I think you have experience with Dani as you've helped host TOS.
Yeah.
Um,
I,
or Town of Survivor for those who don't know. Town of Survivor is what he hosts.
I am worried about Dani. Dani was on the cast originally, and then she was replaced by someone, and then she came back to replace another person.
No, actually,
And
funny story. She got replaced by someone. That someone got replaced by someone else, and then that someone else got replaced by Dani. So it's kind of like full circle.
but like I think that she has a bit of a disadvantage because like the point in like the casting like right now there's a chat with everyone in it, and Dani has like openly been someone who's come in late as a replacement.
Yeah.
And I feel like that might hurt Dani in a bit because people are already like thinking about like who they want to work with in the game, and I think that people just don't have that chance already with Dani. Of course, like the first tribe hasn't even been determined, and she could definitely like turn it around.
Yeah.
But, like from my experience, like watching her, I don't know if she's the kind of player that would realize that she could be in a bit of trouble and then maneuver around to like get into a solid position on her tribe.
Yeah, I agree. I think that I think that she'll definitely be in a lot of trouble if they lose. But she's also on Orca's tribe, which is much stronger, and I really can't see them losing pre-swap. I really can't see them losing. So I don't know. Maybe pre-jury is where I would put her. I don't know a whole lot about her because she's new and she hasn't said too much. So I'm kind of going in this blind.
So next we got Dennis.
So next we got Mr. Dennis himself, Thanos. He's ready to.
Dennis. I don't know how to feel about Dennis because Dennis got put on the top of both lists for Abby and Orca. So
yeah, exactly.
He's already doing a good job of like giving off good vibes.
Yeah.
But, like he said in his confessional that he's not talkative, but he's going to be sneaky, and that is like a huge red flag in my mind.
I'm not sure what to expect with Dennis.
I think if he makes it to a swap or like to merge, he's going to have like a lot of connections. Like
yeah, I think
he talked about in his confessional specifically. He was like, "Oh, I want to work with Ryan and Abby and Tiny." Unlucky for him, all of Abby, Ryan, and Tiny are on the other tribe, so he's not going to be able to talk to them before the swap.
Yeah, that's gonna be an issue.
But
likewise, and I'm probably gonna say this for all the Orca people, he's on the Orca tribe, and I don't know if they're ever gonna lose.
Yeah. He's gonna be in a good spot for a swap.
I feel like he's gonna be in a good swap. But the big issue is that it really depends on when people want to cut him and Abby. They want to separate the two of them. Usually me, with how I play, I like keeping not couples, but like duos for around as long as possible. Because it's like, that's an obvious target, right? You're obviously going to want to split up the couples, right?
Yeah.
People are like, oh, we got to get rid of them early. I disagree. I think you should get rid of them later. Right. But I don't know. I don't know how this cast will perceive that.
I think that Abby and Dennis, if they get to merge, there's a potential for them to be like under the radar enough so that they're just seen as like two votes that people can snap up. Because I feel like there's going to be a lot of big players in this merge.
Me too.
Gonna need, like, I don't know. They could easily be consensus votes at like the beginning of merge. That's why I think that they would probably Dennis goes with Abby. I think in jury. I don't really see him being a contender as of right now for winning, but like I think he could definitely make it to jury.
All right, so we're putting Dennis on jury. Yeah, Dennis is, I'm not part of the Apollo gang, but from what I've observed, Dennis is a very well liked person. People like keeping him around. I think he's charismatic. I think he's nice. So I can see him coasting by, even though him and Abby are going to be in a lot of trouble. But actually, interestingly enough, out of Abby and Dennis, which one of the two do you think will last longer?
Dennis. 100%.
I actually disagree. I think Abby will, because I think a lot less of a threat than Dennis is. But yeah, I don't know.
I
I guess
think
we'll see.
that
Hmm?
I think that just Dennis is gonna be. This is. I think that if Abby's tribe loses 3 in a row, Abby's gonna be in real danger.
Yeah.
But Dennis could easily, if he's like, if I'm seeing his tribe right, I don't think he's going to be like the easiest boot on his tribe, and I think he could get to a swap, which means he's probably gonna have high chances of surviving. So I think that Dennis, like, a lot of times will make it to merge. I don't know if Abby is a lot of times going to make it to merge, and then together they're going to be like a duo target together. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
It's gonna be risky.
That just makes me think that Dennis is going to make it farther.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hard game for both of them, but yeah, I think yeah, you're right. I think Dennis probably has the better shot out of the two. All right, we'll move him over.
Now, I am excited about Ecto.
Now Ecto
is already right off the bat. He's not my winner, but he's definitely one of my contenders.
Really?
For sure.
I agree as well.
Yeah.
Now, interestingly enough, oh yeah, sorry, you go.
He just I've never played with him. I've never seen him play, but just like seeing him talk in his confessional pregame, he has so many thoughts about all the players already. He's like planning his ideal like people that he wants to work with are Guy and Ryan. And Guy and Ryan in their confessionals have talked about wanting to work with Ecto, and they're all three going to be on the same tribe. I see Ecto, Ryan, Guy being a power trio on that tribe.
Yeah, Ecto's an interesting person. He's the first person who I've ever seen who's like, "Hey, anyone want to VC in the voice call?" And some people actually did VC with him. I've never seen anyone do that pregame, which is awesome. I always allow it to happen, and that's the first time I've ever seen anyone do it. I don't know a whole lot about him. I've never watched an org he's in, nor have I ever played with him. But from what I can gather, he's a very, he's that middle of the road type where you don't think he's a threat, but you want to keep him around.
I think, from what I've seen so far, I think that he could be like one of the favorites. I think he could get to the point where he's like the guy to beat. But there's also another guy that he could be working with that could be even a bigger target than him.
Yeah, I see Ecto as, whether he wants to or not, probably the narrator of the season, where his confessionals really dictate the stories that are going on. I can see Ecto doing that. I'll put him in contenders. I'm really excited for him. I've wanted him to play a season since I think 21 actually, since the reboot started. So it's great that he's finally getting a chance to play. Next up, we have your favorite, the person that murdered Zach in cold blood, Emma.
Now I am a big fan of Emma's. I think that.
Oh, what? Yeah, go for it.
I don't know about her game sense yet. I haven't really seen that be tested yet, or like her strategy. But I think that on that tribe, as long as she's not like the obvious like weak challenge player, because that could be a problem that she has. Being like at the bottom of the challenges. But I think that she has a very high ceiling and a very low floor. She could go anywhere in this whole game.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that I see with Emma. I'm going to list them right now. I have three notes I have about Emma. First of all is that both times she's played, she got 18th place. Both times she's played. Yeah. Albeit the second time she was sort of a late game replacement for Mr. Michael, who dropped out.
Yeah.
But both times she's played, she hasn't made it too far. So even though weirdly enough, she's a 3-time returnee, which is amazing because she's never even made it farther than 18th. But also, another fun fact, she's been to every single tribal council in all her seasons, with the exception of the Zach tribal council, which, she herself caused, she caused.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I find it interesting. She's never been safe, other than that one time that was solely her own doing. And the third comment I have is that, as you may know, she's best friends with Jersey, the winner of Season 23. And everyone was
Yeah.
really sleeping on Jersey. No one thought she could win, but she did win. So do you think that Emma could sneak her way to the end and, pull the nice card? Well, I mean, this whole cast is nice, but still.
It's going to be hard for her to do that because I feel like this whole cast is very, very social people, very nice people. So it's like winning off nicety is going to be super
Nicety.
hard. Because
Yeah.
I do think that there's a lot of good things going for her, at least pre-swap. I wasn't really considering like maybe they lose a lot and maybe she gets in danger because of challenges. But talking about like the main three I see running this tribe, Ecto, Ryan, and Guy. Ryan and Guy have both mentioned wanting to work with Emma in their confessional. So I feel like if they like are pulling in numbers from around like this tribe, I feel like Emma is going to be one of their numbers.
Yeah. I should also.
I would even put.
Oh, what's her? You go.
I might put Emma above Dennis and Abby.
Oh,
I think that she might be doing.
Still jury, but definitely up there.
Yeah.
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 I'd put that as well. I actually agree. I hope she doesn't go pre-swap again. Not pre-swap. I hope she doesn't go post-swap again because both times she's gone home one round after the swap, which just sucks. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. She can't get 18th place because there's only 17 people, luckily. But so she's already doing better than her first two seasons. But I have high hopes in Emma. I think that this will be her season to shine. Maybe she won't, be a contender, but at least she'll shine, unlike the last two. So next up is really interesting player that I have. I actually spoke with him last night with Andrew, and I think it's pronounced Gunwanna. I don't know if it's Gunwanna or Gunwanna, but yeah, Gun.
I don't know how to feel about Gun because Gun has he said one thing and it like in his confessional and it like tanked his ratings for me.
What did he say?
He mentioned that he's going to be in 6 orgs at the same time when this is starting.
He's a crazy player. I'll say that.
That is actually insane.
I think
I cannot imagine being able to do 6 at once and like playing any of them well.
Now, I hate to break it. I really hate to say this because I love him and I really want him to do well, but I really see him I see him being the super easy boot. Like, yeah, this guy speaks in one-word sentences. He's kind of inactive. He's kind of, weird pre-swap. I can see him fitting that archetype of the pre-swap boot. Sort of like
the thing
Bodshaw.
Is that Gunn is coming in with a reputation, I feel, of being good at challenge.
Exactly.
I don't know why, but he has that reputation. So he could make it to jury, but he's like, I think that he's like the easiest first merge boot ever.
Yeah, I can see that as
Like-
wait, first merge boot.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Merge. You think I'll make merge?
Yeah. If he's as good at challenges as like people are hyping him up to be, I think he could make it to merge. Because people don't want to get rid of those challenge
That's
like,
true.
threats early on. They want to do it as soon as merge hits.
Yeah, Gun's an interesting choice. I can see him either being pre-swap or I can see him making a decent run at the merge. Not immunity run, but just somehow making it far. I also want to point out that Gun lives in Thailand, and every single Asian... And obviously this org originated as an Asian org, but every single Asian player has done super well, so I don't know.
I think we should split the difference between us and put him in pre-jury.
Pre-jury.
I think that his social ability might get carried by his...
Yeah, I'll put him above Dani. I think he's above Dani, right?
Yeah.
All right, above Dani, Gunwanna. Oh, his name is cut out in the tier list, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Now, next up, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie, for a while I was really confused with Gun and Guy. They were kind of interchangeable in my head. But yeah, here we have Guy. I don't know a lot about him. I know that Andrew really likes him. That's really all I know.
Do you know what I'll say?
What will you say?
I've been talking. I brought this up. We're talking a lot about the Abbey tribes because they have a lot of like the earlier names.
Yeah.
So I'm bringing this up a few times in a row, but I really think of Ecto, Ryan, and Guy. Guy is the one who will make it to the end of those three. And
You
I
see
think
Guy
those three
making
are
the
gonna
end.
be the power group.
Yeah.
I think that Guy is going to win this game.
You think Guy's gonna be the winner? That's interesting.
I think Guy's going to be the winner. Yes.
All right. Yeah, I don't know
I
what to
think-
say
I think-
because. Oh, what? Sorry. Yeah, you go.
I think like being in a strong trio is like a great thing if your trio dies before you do.
Yeah, you're
I
not
think
wrong.
that's-
You're not wrong. That's very true.
I think that's the situation Guy's gonna be in, and I think that's why he's gonna have a winning story getting to the.
Yeah. Okay, I have an idea. For all the contenders, we'll put them in contenders, and once we're done with all 17 players, we'll decide who we think the winner will be. How about that?
Okay.
We won't put anyone in winners yet. I have faith in Guy. I don't know him, but I have faith in him. I also know that he's won several out-of-community Big Brothers, and if you can win an out-of-community Big Brother, that means you can really win. Because I feel like the skill gap between out-of-community orgs and Org C orgs is pretty high. Let me turn that off. Like there's like Facebook in the background. Let me turn that off. Ah, no, ignore that. That was whose confessional was that? Was that Neff's confessional? I think that was Neff's confessional. Anyway, let's carry on.
So next we got Jack, and I am worried about Jack. I
I
am a big fan of Jack,
love Jack.
but I am worried about.
I
Jack.
absolutely love him, but I'm worried about his inactivity. I know he's really inactive in Cruise Org. I know he's hosting his own org. I know he's filming his own show. So I'm worried about his activity. He did say that he'll be active enough once the season starts. I'm kind of hoping that he sticks to his word and he actually is active. Past the 24th. I really want him to do well, but I can see his early inactivity being, his downfall.
Jack is another player who came from who's like played Town of Survivor.
Oh, did he?
Play.
Did he actually? I didn't know that.
And I really like Jack. He is a great personality. He's a great character, but like he was active on Town of Survivor and he got yeeted early. And I am worried about his inactivity. I think it might be like pre-swap level worried about Jack.
Yeah, I agree. I think same with Cass. I think they're both great players. It's just the spots that they're in are not ideal, right? And obviously the game hasn't even started yet, so maybe once the game gets going, we will drastically change perspective. But I think for now, Jack goes in pre-swap. I'm really excited for him, though. His friend Jason played a very long time ago in Season 9, and I really like Jason in that little time he played, so maybe Jack will be the same. Yeah, so Jack in pre-swap?
Yeah.
One more comment about Jack. I think the fact that he has a show, a YouTube show, is probably what's going to intrigue people to want to work with him. They're like, oh, wow, yeah, I want to get to know this guy more. I want to keep him in the game,
I think he's like a great person if you get to know him.
Yeah, same here.
I just don't know if people are going to get to know him.
All right, next up. I have some words for this person.
I feel like Neff is one of the players that people have been talking about the most.
Yes, I think I'm going to make a very, very big take here. I think Neff could very well be the next Topspin Pickles of 2DK.
Really?
That's a very big claim.
I definitely think she's going to be a contender in this one.
You think she is or she isn't?
I think she is. I think everyone. There's a lot of people talking about Neff, and Neff is like if Ecto, Ryan, and Guy are the threats on the Abby tribe. Like Neff is one of like the 3 players I'm already seeing on his tribe. Gonna be like leading that.
Yeah, there is.
She's going to have. I think she's going to have a massive target, but I also think she's going to be a massive contender.
There's also another thing that I will not say, but there's a thing that's discouraging me from thinking Neff will completely dominate. I'm not gonna say what it is. I'll message you later, and I'll probably tell the podcast what it is once it's revealed. But anyway, I have high hopes for her. I saw her play in. I actually played with her in Ratch Viver, and she was like the fucking most insane player I've ever seen. Almost Topspin Pickles level. What I am worried about is that she might meme too hard. She might just be fucking around and memeing and not take it seriously, and she'll end up going out. When I really think that she'd be a very strong contender for this cast. You know what I mean? She might
Yeah.
joke around, like kind of like me, where I fuck around in most of my works.
Really? Do you really think that she's gonna be like that?
I don't
I've
know.
never seen her play before, but she already has a persona brewing of coming in as a villain
Yeah,
for
I'm
the next
worried
season.
that will cut her because like obviously I love entertainment, but I like it when entertainment lasts long as well, right? I don't like it when entertainment gets cut off right off the bat. I want to her in contenders for now, but I'm a bit worried that her role playing will not
So
be great.
you think that she might like blow up like pre-jury?
I can see it happening, but I don't want it to happen. She's also on the good tribe as well, so I don't think
Yeah,
she'll be visiting pre-swap. But yeah,
yeah.
all right, down to
That's
6.
all.
Well, actually, wait. I said my piece on Neff. Did you have anything that you want to say about Neff?
No, this is my first time seeing her, but I have very high expectations.
Yep. All right. So, actually, wait. Are we gonna rank the contenders? Guy, Ecto, Neff. How are we ranking these 3 so far?
I think that
I put Neff under
for
Guy.
me, I think that Guy is going to do the best. I think that he's going to have a good story, but like he's not going to be targeted because of it. I think that Ecto and Neff are going to be like
Yeah.
the big threats that people need to take out, or they're going
Yeah.
to win.
I think
Players.
Guy will be a sleeper hit where people don't realize he's a threat until it's too late. Whereas with Neff and Ecto, people kind of have an idea that they're a threat. Right.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, we have your best friend, Nick.
I'm so worried about Nick. I want him to do so well. Like I originally had him as a winner pick until like I started like looking into things more, and I think Nick can do very well in this game. I just don't know. His floor and his ceiling is very like wide.
Yeah.
Similar to Emma, except I think Nick has proven that he has a good game sense. So I think he would do better than Emma.
I think
I don't know. I don't know if he's going to.
you don't know if he's what?
I think he would be a contender, but I don't know if he's going to. His variance is going to be very high.
I think
I don't know.
I agree. I think with Nick, it's a crapshoot. Really, he might just get completely screwed over, or he might, pull all the tricks up his sleeve. I don't know what to expect with him. I'm really confident, and I know he's going to be a fun personality to watch, but I don't know what to expect. I'm going to put him on
I think
jury, I guess.
I would put him above Emma and Jury, but he would be bordering contenders for me.
Yeah.
It's just that we have quite a few contenders coming up a little bit late.
Yeah, Nick is. I can see Nick being someone who he's not necessarily being threatening, but everyone's like, "Oh, it's Nick. We got to get rid of him." All right, or maybe he'll be 4th place again. I don't know. We'll see.
He's already gotten a little bit of talk about that, of him being like a threat. Of all the returnees, he's like the one with like the biggest.
Yeah, definitely. I think Nojr and Emma, they're decent players, but they haven't really shown off anything. Whereas Nick, he's shown off a lot already.
Yeah.
All right, so next up we have the other
Nojr.
returnee, Nojr, and Nojr is interesting. Now, I don't know if you watched season 22.
I did not.
But during
I
season
don't know anything about that.
Season 22, he was like constantly being targeted, and he somehow managed to stumble into 8th place, which is amazing. He survived for a pretty long time. He's a survivor. He lasted a while despite everything. And
Was he like targeted good or targeted bad, like a John Robert?
target. What do you mean? The targeted good. I don't know how to describe it because he just never really had any allies. He was always at the mercy of other people. Yet he survived quite the while. It was only when his allies cut him loose.
Was he targeted for being a threat or targeted for being because he's like an easy boot, kind of? I guess like a Luca.
I think yeah, easy boot. Not that he was inactive or he was mean or anything like that, but just more so that he just was a lone wolf. Like he had nowhere to go, so they were like, let's just cut him loose. He has no one, right?
Yeah, that's kind of the impression I was getting too. I was thinking that he could be pre-jury when I was initially ranking because it's like I don't know if he's the most social person of the cast, and like I went through the list a little bit and had my thoughts already, some like pre-prepared on where I thought people would do, and like there's just too many people who are like contender level or jury level like normally. Like I think in most casts, Nick would be like a strong winner pick or a strong contender pick, but I don't. He doesn't even make it here. So
Yeah.
that says something about this cast.
Yeah, this cast is really interesting because there's no like obvious they're gonna make it far, and there's no obvious like they're obviously gonna be first boot. Like with 23, Mark Buboy was obviously never gonna make it far. Sammy was never gonna make it far. Someone like Thomas was always gonna make it far. Stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
I think.
I think
What do you think first?
Nojr, like there's clear problems where Gunwanna and like Dani that I feel like puts them in pre-jury. I think Nojr goes there because I don't know if he has like the upside to like make it farther.
Yeah,
what
I love.
I don't know anything about his challenge game though. If he's good at challenges, like he could definitely like make it farther.
Yeah, I think he's all right. I know for a fact that there was a double tribal council with 3 tribes, and he tried his ass off because he did not want to go to tribal, and he actually won he actually got the most points just so that his tribe wouldn't go to tribal council. So I think he can really do it. But I think you're right. I think pre-jury, probably top of pre-jury, right? Top of pre-jury, but still pre-jury.
Yeah, top of pre-jury.
This is good. It's a good list so far.
So
next up we have Orca, who, and before we talk about Orca, I just want to say, Viewing Lounge loves him. I was surprised. I didn't know
love
people
Orca.
love him.
I think Orca is definitely contenders tier. He reminds me of me, but he's 13. And that's like,
what I'm worried
insane.
about. He's the youngest player in this cast. Yeah, actually, I'm going to say it now, but by far, because the others are, I think they're a middle, like 14 and a half. He's like I think he's like a newly turned 13 as well. So, I don't know. I don't know what to expect from this guy.
I think Orca's age is like upside for Orca because I feel like it's like upside and downside. Like people will underestimate him because of his age, but I think that I just think that he's gonna do so well.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a contender. I think he's going to be like a strong contender.
Yeah, he writes a lot as well. He writes.
Yeah.
And the way I see Orca is, I see Orca as sort of the Nick from season 21, the Mookie from season 22, and the U from season 23. I can see Orca being like that nice person who makes 4th, 5th place. They get cut at the very end. That's how I see Orca.
Yeah.
It would also be funny.
Have you been? Did you like actually read the strategy? Like it's solid strategy.
Yeah, it's very good. It's very long as well. It was a lot of messages, more than you, and you write a lot. Yeah, I'm very impressed by Orca. I think there's a curse though. I think there's a curse where black and white animals end up being in 5th place. So, you know, I can see him getting 5th. Crisp, rather. I can see him getting crisp place.
Yeah. I'm checking my notes because Ryan.
Yeah. Wait, no. Let's finish up with Orca first. You see him being a contender. Where would you put him though? Above Guy, below Guy, below Neff?
I think Guy's going to win, so I put Orca. I think Orca's a bit below Guy, but I would put Orca above Neff and Ecto. I think so. Yeah. Make the distance.
I think
Neff and Ecto are like in danger at like 8 and 7.
Yeah, I agree. I think Neff and Ecto, everyone knows they're threatening, whereas with Guy and Orca, it's like they're sort of sleeper hits, right?
Yeah.
Sleeper threats. Next up we have, and I'm very excited for this person, but I'm also very scared for this person. We have Ryan, and if you don't know, Ryan is Andrew's in real life friend. He was invited to play, I think about 3 months ago, and even though he's only a very recent face, he's already made a splash in the community. I'm very excited for him.
Yeah. Like, so the big 3 of the people who are being talked about a lot are Neff, Ecto, and Ryan, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like, when people are talking about other people, like, their names comes up. But, like, other than, like, Neff and Ecto, where people, like, know they're good, everyone is talking about wanting to work with Ryan. Like,
yeah.
He is getting, like, I think, like, I didn't list it down, but there's a lot of people talking about wanting to work with Ryan, and I think that Ryan could definitely be super dangerous in this game. But like he's not going to be like a hidden threat. He's going to be a threat.
I actually see it the opposite way. I think that people won't see that he's a threat. I can see him being a sleeper hit.
Do you think he's gonna be like a Tom kind of player where like everyone likes him and he just like gets away with like murder every
I don't.
time?
I don't know if everyone likes Tom. Based on 23, I don't think that's true. But
No, but he was in a position where everyone liked him.
yeah,
for a
yeah. No,
long time.
when he was final aura, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
When he was Paradoxical, rather. Yeah, I can see Ryan making it. I can see him being in the middle. I think he's in the middle of. Right now, the list is Guy, Orca, Neff, Ecto. I can see him being number 3 next to Orca, Neff, where
Yeah.
he's a sleeper hit, but at the same time, everyone knows he's a threat, right?
Yeah.
Another thing I want to point out is that unlike Orca and Neff, the other two most talked about people, Ryan doesn't really have the resume to show off. Neff does, Orca does, Ryan doesn't, which I think is interesting.
I had a brain fart there. I don't know what you said.
Okay, basically, Orca has the resume. He writes a lot. Neff has the resume. She plays
Yeah.
a lot, does really well. Ryan doesn't. I think his resume is mostly going pre-merge, honestly. I think people just
Really?
like him. They just like him, but yeah, exactly. I don't think he's done too well in any org, but people like him for who he is. So that's, I don't know. Maybe 2DK will be the first org where he makes it somewhat far.
I if you told me that, I would not believe you. I can't believe he's gone free merge ever.
I can check some stuff, but I genuinely don't think he's ever made. Maybe he's made like 1 or 2 merges, but that's about it. I know he has stats, but I don't know where to find them.
Last 3, Saps, Tiny, and
Yeah, I put him in the middle of Orca and Neff. There you go. Putting him in there. All right, Saps, Tiny,
Okay.
and Zoe. Now here's the big issue I think that Saps will face. I think whether she wants to believe it or not, I think she's in the shadow of Neff.
I don't know if that's true, but I don't know what their relationship is, but like Saps and Neff are already seen as a duo.
Yeah.
Like for sure.
When I say in the shadow, I mean I think that when you think of one or the other, you're gonna think of Neff because Neff has more of a reputation. More, and I think they're both good. They're both great, actually. But I think Neff is just slightly better, and so Saps will be seen as the more expendable one. Like you can cut her loose. You want to split up Neff from Saps, not Saps from Neps. Yeah, can't talk. Right.
I think that Saps. So either way, she is going to be the exiled person. She's gonna.
Exactly. Both Orca and Abby didn't want her, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah. I think on the Orca tribe, she's gonna be fine. If she goes on the Orca tribe, she's gonna be like.
Yeah, I think she's golden, but
They're gonna be strong. They're gonna be like challenge beasts. It's gonna be fine.
but more likely than
But I
not,
think
she
the
ends up on the Abby tribe.
spicy take is if she goes on the Abby tribe, and there is once again very high peaks, very low floors. Because if Saps goes on the Abby tribe, I don't think that she's going to be at the top of the Abby tribe. I've already talked about what I kind of think the group is going to be. I think it's going to be like Ecto, Ryan, Guy,
Yeah.
Emma. I think they're going to be like the numbers of that tribe. I think Saps is just going to have to try to do her best to just survive. And I
Yeah.
think if she can survive, she's going to be in a really dangerous. I feel like she's like the Dennis of the Abby tribe, except
The Dennis
that
of the Abby
I
tribe.
think that she's gonna be more like threatening.
Yeah, I can
I think that she's like contender level.
I can see that. Now here's the thing, and maybe I'll eat my words, but I see her being like the lowest contender right now.
Really.
Yeah, mainly, and to no fault of her own, but just because I feel like people want to split up Neff and Saps, and I feel like they'd rather save Neff than Saps, right?
Yeah, and if Neff's tribe has a number and she has more connections going into like swaps into merge, people are
Yeah.
gonna want to inherently target Saps over her because they're
Yeah.
just gonna like not have thought about working with her as much as working with Neff.
Yeah, I think she's at that disadvantage, but I don't know. I believe she can alleviate that. I think she can do it. Okay, down to 2. Now here's
So-
someone who's actually my winner pick. I know I said Neff was my winner pick, but after seeing the meme stuff, I'm not so confident anymore. Tiny is my new winner pick. I'm very excited for
Tiny
Tiny.
is your winner pick?
Yes.
Ooh.
And let me tell you why. I think he's the perfect combination of, he doesn't have the greatest rep, but he's a great player, and I can see him skating by. Whereas all these other players, they either have big reputations or they have faults, right? I think Tiny is in the perfect spot where he's like sort of in the middle. Now that being said, I can also see him being jury.
I don't know where to rank. I actually forgot to do any notes on Tiny, so I don't have anything prepared.
But the way I see these games is that you always want to be the fourth biggest threat at the final six, because you just take the fifth and sixth biggest threats, and then you win because you're the fourth biggest threat, so you're higher than them. I see Tiny as being in that he's already in that spot where he's not like a huge threat, but he's also like much higher than a goat.
I think that Tiny, if your explanation is correct, I think that Tiny is going to be similar to Nick.
Nick, yeah.
Do very well, also could do. It's like I don't know where Tiny would go.
Yeah.
I think that of jury, Tiny, if what you're saying is right, Tiny and Nick probably also have shots. Them like contenders are like the people who I think can win.
Yeah.
Like I think Nick and Tiny can also win, but like probably not gonna win. I might eat my words with that. But I think that's where I would put Tiny, but like I have no idea how Tiny is going to do. I have no expectation for her. I don't know.
Tiny's a guy.
Or him? Oh shit.
You and Ecto just keep on calling Tiny girl. I don't know why. But
that was my mistake.
But no, I think Tiny, honestly, I wouldn't put him as contender, but I think he's in that spot where all the contenders will wipe each other out, and Tiny is the last man standing. Right? I can see that very easily happening. I'd put him above Nick on jury, honestly, just because unlike Nick, he's a newcomer, right? He doesn't have any preconceived notions, and he's also I don't think he's ever done well in an org. But
really,
well, placement wise, not performance wise. He's never done well placement wise.
Okay.
So I think he can.
I would put. I'm hyping up Nick.
Really?
I would put Nick above Tiny.
Really? All right. I'll put Tiny below Nick, but I'll put Tiny below Nick. But yeah, I have faith in Tiny.
Next, we're gonna be talking about.
All right. Last but not least, Z for Zoe.
So like my three main sleeper picks of who I thought could win are like Guy, Orca, and Zoe.
Really? That's interesting, actually.
I think Zoe could do super well.
Yeah.
But I could also see her being in a similar like jury tier as Nick and Tiny.
Yeah.
She is like, I think that she's not going to have the problems that like Cass is going to have. I see like Zoe as kind of like Cass, but like in a way better spot than Cass.
Yeah,
like,
I think
she's an older female.
There are a lot of parallels to the two. There are a lot of parallels.
She seems to be very social, and I think that she. So the one thing that's worrying is that she doesn't know about how strong her like strategic game is going to be, and I feel like in a cast like this, you're gonna need like socials. Everyone's going to have the social game. No one, like the people who are really going to like cement their win as if they can do it with their strategic game. And I could see like Nick doing that. I don't know about Tiny, but it seems like Tiny could do that. I think that's I put Zoe in contenders, but I think she could also be jury. What do you think about Zoe?
I think Zoe. So here's the thing: Zoe's only played one org before this, Pathfinder, which is where we found her. But she played very well, even though she's never played an org before. And I think she could very easily replicate that. Now, granted, this cast is a lot younger than Pathfinder's cast was, so I'm not so sure. But I do think that I'd put her in contender above Ryan. Honestly, I put her above Ryan.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there we go. Assuming you have the same screen as me, we have great list. I feel kind of bad putting Cass and Jack in pre-swap because I really like both of them, but I think they're going to need to put work in.
I think we do need to rearrange this a little bit because there's only going to be 11 people making jury. So
Yeah. Well,
Danny moves down to pre-swap and Abby goes down to pre-jury.
Yeah.
Bottom of jury and
yeah, that's right.
jury right now.
Yeah, you're right. We'll put Abby in. Oh my goodness, so weird. There we go.
Yeah, there we go. So in this timeline, the 11 mergers are Guy, Orca, Zoe, Ryan, Neff, Ecto, Saps, Nick, Tiny, Emma, and Dennis. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Final 11. Now, of these, we have 7 contenders, which I think is a lot. But obviously, the season hasn't started yet. You know, we're just basing this off pre-game notions. Who do you see?
Yeah.
I guess this is where we end the podcast off. But who do you see out of these 7 being the winner?
I'm thinking. I was thinking Guy the whole time, but now I'm reconsidering maybe Orca or Zoe. I'm gonna stick with Guy.
You're gonna stick with Guy?
I think he's gonna. If my headcanon is correct on Ecto, Ryan, Guy, and Emma being like a strong force on whatever tribe they are on, like I can see all of them just getting to merge with their like game ability and like being like rather like pretty good at the game. I think Guy is the one who like actually get to the end and like take the credit to.
Yeah.
That's my prediction on Guy.
Yeah, I can see that happening as well. I'm gonna nominate. I was originally gonna nominate Neff, but the more I think about it, I really do think her reputation will get the better of her, unless she can win like every single immunity. I'm gonna nominate Ryan. I'm gonna nominate Ryan.
The Malone of the season.
I think Neff could very well be the Malone of the season, but not of 23, of 21. Malone of 21. I can see that happening. So yeah. So right now we have Guy and Rin as our individual winner. The one thing stopping me from saying Guy is that I don't have too much of a perception of him, and also because I think that he's. You have sleeper threats where no one knows they're sleeper threats, and then you have sleeper threats where you know they're sleeper threats, and I think Guy fits that category.
He's a sleeper threat that people know are sleeper threats.
Yeah. Whereas someone like Tiny or Ryan, they can get away with it because no one knows they're sleeper threats.
I don't know. That's what I see. Maybe it'll change when the game starts.
Yeah. We'll be back for
episode 2, 3?
2 or 3 travels in. We'll see how most of pre-swap has gone and how dynamics are forming there.
Yep.
And we'll get a better. Like this is a very rough estimate. If things went the way that we're like predicting now, like that would actually be insane.
I mean, if you look at my
things
season
can go
22,
in so many ways right now, it's like actually insane. So,
I know it's
the
crazy.
accuracy of this is not great. This is just our predictions.
I'd say I have a pretty good track record. Season 22, I almost got it perfectly spot on. I got it pretty well spot on.
Didn't season 21, you didn't think that Malone was going to win?
Yeah, season 21, Malone is the one I trashed the most. He ended up winning, which is great. Season 23, I think season 23 was okay up until the incident when all my predictions got blown out of the water. But, whatever. What can you do? So yeah, that's episode 1. I think we'll be back in about a week. So the season starts in 3 days from now. 3 days plus 4 days for 4 rounds. So yeah, a week from now. We'll be back a week from now. Which will probably be the longest gap between episodes, because after that it'll just be 4 days between episodes. So yeah.
Yep.
Hope you guys enjoyed this. This is something very unique, and I don't know how long this has run for. I presume it's been 40 minutes now. We've gone a little longer than I would have liked, but that's okay.
54 minutes.
54. Jesus. Yeah. All right, but you know what? It's the first episode, so maybe that's why it's longer, because we're talking about 17 people.
Yeah.
As the numbers
next time
dwindle.
we're going to be talking about like alliances and stuff.
Yeah, it once the numbers dwindle down to like 15, 13, 11, it'll be, I presume, shorter, but we'll see. So yeah, and hey, maybe, and this is an idea that I'm going to throw out there. Maybe we'll get like exit interviews. We'll talk to the eliminated players. That'd be kind of cool. we
Do
talk.
you want to do Eliminator, like like Survivor Specialist Eliminator right now?
Oh, what's that? Sorry, I need to refresh my memory.
So you pick a player, and if they're voted out, then you are eliminated.
Oh, really?
There'd be a competition between, and you can't pick the same player twice throughout the whole season.
I don't know how that would work because we're only doing this every 2 episodes. But yeah,
Yes, we're doing it every 2.
I don't know how that would work, but that might be fun.
We'll pick 2 at a time.
We could do it with the mods. We'll do it with the mods and moral support. Like, not recorded. We'll just do it for fun in the background. How about that?
Okay.
All right. So, see you guys next time. Goodbye.